Collinsworth slide.
Nice little slide there. Good for you.
Thank you. That one felt better. Welcome to another edition of the Blue Review. Today is going to be an exciting one. Thursdays moving forward. Just want to give a quick shout out and heads up to everyone in the chat and everyone who watches. Marcus will not be able to join us on Thursdays due to his NFL work. He's scheduled a little earlier, so be sure to follow along with us on social media just so you can know what's going on. But there's the official announcement. We'll have our dear friend Jeff Spiegel joining us every Thursday as we near the playoffs. Correct, Greg?
Yep, starting next week, and he will go through the playoffs with us every Thursday as well. So Jeff Spiegel of Dodger Blue will be joining, and so that will be really, really fun because I like talking to Jeff. But I also feel like an idiot, Parker, because I thought today was Wednesday, which on one hand makes me happy because it's Thursday and it's almost Friday, and on the other hand makes me feel like an idiot because I was asking FRG Clint Pasillas to come on Thursday, which I thought was tomorrow, so he did not respond. So
I mean,
he probably is like, I don't know what you're trying to say to me. Today is Thursday. So, he's got other things to do, Dodger territory and all those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, if you're watching this, Clint, we would have loved to have had
you can still jump on if you want to.
Yeah.
Just like you have the link, just hop on in.
Yeah, because there's a lot to get to. Yesterday's game was crazy. I don't even know another way to put it. Just absolutely crazy, insane. Kopech barely escaped there in the ninth. We want to talk about that. But Tommy tanks Edman with his second consecutive multi-homer game. Shohei nearing the 50-50 mark. A lot to get into. And Greg, I'll throw up some comments, some of the chat so that you can answer some of these questions like we did not too long ago. Because it says here in the chat that I think my sound is cracking. So I'm going to work on that.
I do hear. Do you want to give us the LAX first? But I do hear you're cracking.
Yeah. Reminder, here at the Blue Review, we're presented by LAX, our friends at Los Angeles International Airport, changing the travel experience, reducing traffic, saving us time. So check it out at flylax.com/transforming LAX. I'll work on that audio. I don't want to be cracking all day. I'll leave it to you, Greg. Just kind of react to the game, and I'll throw up some chat.
Sure. So I think there's a lot to talk about. If you want to come back on at any point, Parker, when you get that fixed, just jump on in, and we can have a conversation. But this is what we're going to do. We did it, I think, either last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago that we just had a little mailbag. So whatever goes on in the chat, I will try and answer as much as I humanly possibly can. But we'll get it right into the game after just 1 second. There's a couple comments in the chat that I want to get to. BC would love Jeff Spiegel and Doug McCain on the same show. I will actually try and make that happen. I want to see, as long as they're comfortable doing it at the same time, I will make that happen because I would want to hear that too, because you get different energies, different perspectives from the two of those guys. So I think that would be fun. Also, Jay Gonzalez saying Berkey with them puffy eyes, #hungover. These are my eyes. I never get to talk about it, but these are my eyes. I can't get rid of the puff underneath. I just have bags underneath my eyes. If you get me at 8 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock at night or any time in between, I have puffy eyes. I don't know what to do about it. I can't fix it. I don't even going to try. So that's that portion of it. Now, the game itself last night. The only way to start this is on Bobby Miller. He had multiple opportunities to get out of innings, to multiple opportunities to show that, hey, we can get out of this. He had a 7-3 lead. He had a 3-0 lead. He had so many different things to do, and he could not hold on to it. To me, it is time for Bobby Miller to now move down to AAA, and we do not see him again. The good part about all this is that he has options. He can go down to AAA. He can try and work on some stuff. But the fact of the matter is, he's not going to be on the postseason roster. He just doesn't have it. I don't think he's going to get as David Herrera says, is Bobby Miller going to get a start out of necessity or loyalty? I don't think he needs to get it out of necessity anymore, especially with what's going to go on with since Yamamoto's back, that you can still throw Flaherty. You can go to Landon Knack. If you really need to, you can go to Justin Wrobleski. Glasnow should be coming back next week. Buehler's probably going to get another start, even though he kind of seems iffy, but I don't think you can go to Bobby Miller one more time. At some point, it's time, and I think this is the time that it is for Bobby Miller. I think he's done. If they give him one more start, maybe probably wouldn't be surprised because they do just do those things and they have a little bit of space in the division. But no, in my opinion, Bobby Miller is done. It is time for Bobby Miller to go down. I think Walker will get another dead meow. Bobby is cooked. Yep, totally agreed. I think Walker has a better shot of getting more starts. Bobby, I think they're just gonna. It's time to move him down and move on from him. And you can bring other guys up. You have options, and you can, as long as you can get through guys like Yamamoto, Knack, Flaherty. When Glasnow comes back. You can throw Justin Wrobleski again, even though he's a dumpster fire too. There's options that they have there, and they'll use them probably. But again, I think he's washed. I also think that he gets another start because of what you have. But no, I think Bobby done. AAA. It's time. Let's move on. All right. So the next thing. Shohei Ohtani is absolutely fantastic, isn't he? I mean, I know we've said this 100 times over and over again, but Shohei Ohtani just continues to amaze every time he's out there. Another home run, another stolen base. And I get it, BC, Shohei 47-48, unicorn. He is something that we just don't understand. I see a lot of conversation online and on Twitter about Francisco Lindor, and obviously he's having a really good year and he's playing very well, but I just don't see how you can go with a guy that has been was the number 2, was in the second spot in the lineup, and then just moves up into the first spot and does better. And you could move Mookie Betts down without Shohei. I don't know where this team is. He's still the most valuable player on this team. They have a very, very good good team all the way around. But I think without Shohei, this team is not not anywhere. And damn right, dead me out, Shohei. I love calling him Shohei, and I think people need to use it a little more often. But to me, and it's not just because I'm a Dodger fan, and I feel like it's going to come across as this is the Blue Review, and I'm somebody that is a Dodger homer, but it has to be Shohei Ohtani. Without Shohei Ohtani, this team is cooked. We're able to get through with no Mookie Betts. You can get through without no Freddie Freeman. You can get through without no Teoscar Hernandez, but you can't get through with no Shohei Ohtani. He means so much for everything that they do there. And I know he doesn't play defense, but he does so many other different things. And Francisco Lindor is having a great year. No doubt about it. He just ran into a situation that so many other people have when Shohei was in Anaheim. You ran into Shohei Ohtani, and he is going to win the MVP, and he absolutely deserves it. But 47-48 is just phenomenal. Every single night, you just expect it. Every time a crack off the bat, you feel like it's a home run. Every time he gets to first, you feel like he's going to steal second, and he does. I think he's something, and if you have it somewhere, Parker, I think he's 25 for his last 25 in stolen bases. That's ridiculous. It seems absolutely amazing that somebody that could just do those types of things, and especially for his size. He's such a unit. He's massive, and he just has so much speed, and he's so good on the base pass. That's why I was so shocked the other day when he got picked off of first, because that just seems like something that he does not do. I think one of the things that we talk about a lot around here is the bullpen. And last night, I think the bullpen, while was a little shaky at times, it still showed me why this bullpen can be so good. I just want to get the stats up in front of me, but Kopech was the closer, still my closer, not going anywhere. I think Michael Kopech is the guy that you wanted to end. I think he still had his stuff, and he was dotting some pitches. He was not actually getting the benefit of the doubt because he was throwing so many balls that when he did actually dot on a corner of the top left corner of the strike zone, that he didn't get that benefit of the doubt because of all the balls that he was throwing. So when he had 3 walks, you kind of get concerned. I'm not as concerned as maybe other people are going to become, because he was a big walk guy in Chicago. I think he's different here, but this just seems like he had the stuff. He had the velocity. He had everything. He just couldn't control it as much as he normally does, and especially off of a day off. It seems a little concerning, but it's not. To me, it is absolutely not concerning. I also saw that, like Evan Phillips was solid once again, and he came up in big spots and was great last night. So that's the Evan Phillips that I know, and that's the Evan Phillips that I think we're going to get moving forward. He kind of got screwed the other night. That was not his fault. I think they had 4 errors in the inning, or 3 errors in the inning, whatever it was, and that kind of hurt Evan Phillips and made it look like it was a worse outing than it was. So I think another guy, those 2 guys are actually still very, very solid. Don't have any fear about them. I thought that Daniel Hudson was a little bit iffy when he came in. He also got screwed, though. He did give up a walk. I think he had a walk. He had a couple. Was it a walk? And he had 2 walks and a hit. Yeah. So he got guys on base, but still, they had a ball that was a double play ball right to Chris Taylor. Would have been a double play out of the inning, and then was all over, and he would have walked away from it smooth. However, Chris Taylor booted it, and that was something that caused him to give up a run. That's a little annoying. That's a little concerning because something is happening right now. I don't know what it is, but this team is starting to show a little bit of lack of defense, but it's guys like Chris Taylor, Kike Hernandez, guys that are utility players. So when you have your actual full lineup in, I feel like you're not going to get that as much. As much as I've been down on Gavin Lux, he's a guy that has actually played really good to solid, strong defense. So I've maybe that he makes some of those plays that Kike and Taylor did not make. So there's a little bit of like what they're seeing doesn't actually relate to what's going to actually happen. So that's just the way that I see it. And Bubba, you agree with me. Phillips got hosed by the D, and so did Hudson yesterday. BC, so, okay, I wanted to have this conversation with BC. Hudson, 2.57 ERA, Trinan, 2.27 ERA, Vezia, 1.82 ERA, Phillips, 2.96 ERA. Reliever ERAs, and I know BC, I love you that you're in here every day in the chat. I think you're great. You're one of the ones that are in here and commenting as much as humanly possible. I think you get a little too caught up on the actual stats. I know stats is a huge part of baseball and it means so much, but there's so much more that goes into it as well. And Kopech 1 ERA with the Dodgers. Those are all great ERAs. I think there's relievers ERAs, especially if they come in with other guys on, or if they leave with guys on, it kind of inflates or deflates what their actual ERA is. And a lot of times that's a whole season that you do. So I see a lot of times you look at stats and you look at, oh, Chris Taylor is batting 102 or whatever. I don't even know what it is right now, but he's batting this. That's for a whole season. When you look at players, yes, the whole season is who you are, but it's more about what they're doing over the last 15 days, 30 days. I feel like 30 days. What's up, Jorge? I see you. Over the last 30 days, what they're doing is that the type of player they are. Like if you went to Gavin Lux's stats, Gavin Lux is going to say he has this. He's probably around 240 right now. He built that way up. If you go over his last 30 days, he's probably batting 312, 320, something along those lines, 300. So you have to look at it in different kind of context because the hitter he was at the beginning of the year is not the hitter he was at is right now and at the end of the year and hopefully into the playoffs. So if those guys are continuing to hit and continuing to do those things, you'll see a much different person than what you see at the beginning of the year. So don't let the stats dissuade you from what you're actually seeing out on the field. That's what I've seen. I love that you put it in there, but there is a little bit of an early season bias that goes into all those stats. So what else we got here, Parker? We got Ruben Flores. That 50-50 home run ball will be worth more than his first Dodger home run ball. Absolutely. I've always thought when it's a history making thing that it's more important. The first home run ball, I know it's his first home run as a Dodger. I never understood why that singular ball was going to mean that much, especially when he has 46 other of them right now. The first one I get is the first as a Dodger. His first home run as an Angel would make more sense to me than the first home run as a Dodger. And that 50-50 ball seems to make way more sense than just the first one as a Dodger. Dead Meow, Shohei going to make even more history. Wouldn't he be first ever primary DH to win MVP? Yes, he would. And there's a lot of people like to make the note that a DH has never won MVP because you don't play both ways. But I just think that what he means to this team is more so than that he's not playing defense and he's not pitching. What he means, and we were talking about it a little before, he will be the first. I would put all my mythical money on the fact that Shohei Ohtani is going to be MVP. When you look at the field, I mean, you look at what's happening just in general, you see Shohei Ohtani and you go, that's the best player in the game. That's the best player on the Dodgers. That's the guy that makes the team go. He's the best player on the best team in all of baseball. You have to give it to him. I understand the Lindor stuff, and Bubba Holmberg says the only reason they consider Lindor is because he's in New York. He's having a good year, but it's not close to the Showtime level. Exactly. I totally agree with you, Bubba. Totally agree with you. There's certain times in life that you have, and especially in in baseball and sports in general, that you just have to say, that guy's just better than everybody. If you want to talk, like, let's go to the NBA for just a second. If it's back in, what was it, 2003, 2004, when LeBron James and Carmelo Anthony came out, and with Dwayne Wade, Carmelo took the Denver Nuggets to the playoffs. But LeBron was so far and away the better player overall. Even though he didn't make the playoffs, even though Carmelo took his team to the playoffs, they went with LeBron as the rookie of the year. This seems like the same type of thing to me. Just seeing what's out there and what they're doing on the field and being as historic as they were. I saw a stat from, it wasn't even a stat, it was a codify on Twitter. They put up something like the biggest exit velocities, and I get exit velocity doesn't really mean that much. They put up this best exit velocities in Dodger history, and there were 4 rows of about 6 or 7, and it all went around, and it just showed faces of all the people that had the highest exit velocities. It was Shohei Ohtani in every single one of them. The amount of power this man has, the amount of speed this man has, how he runs the bases. He just does so much for this team that I don't think that the Dodgers, just in general, especially over the last 7 to 10 years, hasn't had a guy that when he comes up to the place, you are legitimately afraid that he is going to burn you and burn you good, whether it's by a home run, hitting a double, hitting a triple into left field. If he gets on base, you know he's stealing that base and he's going to put pressure on your defense. That's just not something that you see very often. Carlos Saise, what's up, Carlo? What's your minimum offer for the 50-50 ball? Minimum off. I mean, I'm not good at these numbers and trying to figure those things out, but like it's got to be in the millions, right? That singular home run ball is going to get as much as you probably want. Yeah, that probably will go into the high millions, and I bet somebody will pay even more than that if you want it. That's more of the question, though. Would you want to keep it and have it in your home and talk about it? Like I caught Shohei Ohtani's 50-50 ball because he probably gets the 50 stolen bases before he gets to 50 home runs. Would you want to actually just keep it, or would you want to sell it and try and make money off it? You can make a ton of money off it. It's life-changing money. If you do it, you're like, okay, I can make my kids' life really, really strong. I can make their kids' life really, really strong. It's going to be pretty interesting. Jazz Meat says first one was valued for 100K ish. This one should be 1 million. It has to be in the millions. I don't see that. I don't even know when somebody will get to 50-50 again. I understand people are bigger, stronger, faster, and have so much more power, but the way that they're going to start changing things, I don't know if 50-50 is going to happen that often. Now, Shohei can get 50-50 again. It will really depend on how he pitches and those types of things, but Shohei can absolutely get to 50-50 again. But what's worth more, 50-50 ball or 50-51 ball? I mean, they're I would assume 51-51. 50-50 just is that round number. 53-53 is crazy. That's where it gets tough. If you get that 50-50 ball, it just depends on how many games are left in the season. Because if you get the 50-50 ball, sell it almost immediately if you don't want to keep it. Because you don't, to these points, there's going to be a 51-51. There's going to be possibly a 53-53. So you have to get it out as fast as possible. Can Emily force you to hand it over to Cooperstown? They can try, but if you catch the ball, it is your ball. You do not have to throw it back. You don't have to give it to anybody. The Dodgers will, as we've seen in the past this year, will try and bully you into giving them the ball. However, that's your ball. You can do whatever you want with it. So, no, they can't force you to. They can try to force you and give you money and all these other things. You get to meet Shohei. You can get a signed ball. You can get signed stuff, all that good stuff. But you can do whatever you want with that ball. That is your ball. Now, the next thing that I kind of want to get into, because we only have a few minutes left here, I'm seeing a lot of reports around the idea of Shohei Ohtani pitching as a reliever in the postseason. I don't think that's something that is going to happen. I think it would be silly for the Dodgers to do that. I understand that a lot of people are worried about the bullpen, as we've talked about in many, many other ones. I'm not as worried about it as other people, which is weird because I'm usually the negative guy around here, but I'm very positive about this bullpen. I don't think they'll do it. I don't think it's healthy for Shohei to do it. I'd rather him not. They've been saying all along He's not going to pitch. He's not going to pitch. I think there would have to be a certain circumstance in which me personally would be like, yeah, that's a good idea to pitch Shohei Ohtani. And I think it would be in the World Series. I wouldn't do it in the DS. I wouldn't do it in the CS. I feel like if it's one thing that happens, and I know, and I see ESPN just put it out that Oral Hershiser on Travis and DeMarco said Ohtani looks like he could go out there right now and pitch a shutout. I totally agree with that. I agree that he absolutely could. However, he still hasn't pitched to a live hitter. He still hasn't pitched to someone in the National League for the most part. He doesn't do those things, and he hasn't done it, and he hasn't pitched for so long. I just don't see the upside of pitching him off of absolutely like no rehab starts, no regular season starts, seeing regular major league hitters and being like, let's put you in a giant situation right now in the World Series. It just doesn't seem like it makes sense to me. So, I mean, maybe in the World Series, bottom of the ninth or top of the ninth, 3-2 count, just like he did in the WBC. But besides that, I just can't see how it's even possible. Game 7, 9th inning, 3-2 Dodgers, pen is gas, Showtime and Joe Kelly both say they want it. Who you go with? In that situation that you're talking about, Game 7, World Series, 9th inning, 3-2 Dodgers, pen gassed, all you have is Kelly and Showtime. That's the opportunity that I'm talking about. That's the one that I would put Shohei in, and that's the one. My brother is calling me over and over again, which means that there's something wrong, and I need to tell him that, hey, I'm busy. I need 5 minutes. Sorry about that. So go ahead, Parker. My brother keeps calling me.
Check in with your bro. It's all good over here.
It's all right.
Got about 3 minutes left here on the Blue Review, and I've been having a lot of fun just kind of putting up the chat, getting the questions in. I see one more where it asks from Jesse Heisman, is it possible when Ohtani obtains all these accomplishments, wins multiple championships, he wouldn't play out his entire contract with the Dodgers? Wow, Jesse. Hello.
Jesse, I love you, Jesse. You have the most wild questions I've ever seen. I mean, this one is relevant, so I'll go with it, but I don't see what he does. He has a 10-year contract. I expect him to finish it out. However, when it gets to a certain point, if he wants out, he does. I can't predict the future, and I don't think that has any inkling or want to leave at any point in this contract. As of right now, I don't think he wants to leave at all. And he has a clause in his contract that if Mark Walter or Andrew Friedman go, that he can go. I think that would be the only situation that he would go. He loves LA. He loves what he's doing. He's playing DH. He's going to be pitch when he wants to. There's no reason they consistently put guys around him. Look at Tommy Edman. I didn't even get to Tommy Edman. We only have 30 seconds left. He takes multiple home runs a game. When they need something, they go out and they get it. They needed a pitcher. They got Jack Flaherty. They needed somebody that can play offense and defense and be a good hitter. And they went out and got Tommy Edman. They always consistently go out there and get the guys that they need. And Andrew Friedman, we trust. He's not going anywhere.
Yeah, in Friedman, we trust. And to truly answer that question, Jesse, I mean, we can't sit here and act like we know Shohei, but we can only base it off of the past and his past decisions. And even in the most tumultuous organization, the worst organization in the league, he still came back and said, hey, if you guys want me, I mean, you guys were loyal to me, I'll be loyal back. And they said no. So I would assume moving forward, he would be loyal to a team like the Dodgers, who's going to be winning World Series. So that's the best way we can answer that. I see that there's still a lot more questions. We're going to have to get to them mañana. But again, we mentioned earlier this episode that every Thursday, Marcus won't be able to be with us. So we're going to have Jeff Spiegel on with us. Maybe a few other guests. We'll see. As we near the playoffs, it's going to be important that we talk Dodgers every day, every weekday, 8:30 to 8:55. So stick with us. This was a really good turnout. We appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Greg, you can go ahead and close us out as we head to Travis and DeMarco. But thank you, LAX, and thank you, everyone, for being there.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks to LAX every day, 8:30 to 8:55 here on the ESPN LA YouTube channel. Tell your friends. Get everybody in here. This is the place to be in the morning to talk Dodger baseball. And thank you very much for all the questions. It was a ton of fun. I like doing this. It's like old school a little bit. So thank you very much. We'll be back. Listen to Travis and Sleba. And I hope my brother's okay, too. He says he has to talk to me soon because it's time sensitive. So I got to get going. Enjoy Travis and DeMarco. See you guys.
Banana.